Because your dreams are so bright. If you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. Things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough? We never get enough. The Lord is near and the Lord is near and yes, He must be near and things and times are rough. Don't it get so tough? We never get enough. The Lord is near and He must be near and what we are gonna do? Money can't help you. Rich man I feel it too. The Lord is near and He must be near and oh yeah. Strongest of the strength if you have strong faith, you will stay alive. If you live with love, you shall survive. If you have strong faith, you must stay alive.
You got to ask God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You got to do your research for what you believe in for. You got to invest your time, your energy, all that, so you can do what you're supposed to do and excel in God. What you waiting for? Do your
More and more and more and more people are changing. Every day people are changing. All over the world, more and more and more and more people are changing. Every day people are changing. According to things and time, some change for the better, some change for the worse. Some will help you up, some will steal your purse. Some do good, yeah, some do bad. Some make you happy, and some make you sad. More and more and more and more people are changing. Every day people are changing.
Greetings. We're there with you, things and times. Mr. Best, there with you. People are changing, yes. We're there with all this pandemic and various other things that take place around the world. And we are going like nothing's happening. And we have the world sympathizing with us at present, because them see the despicable things that happens to us on a regular basis for the first time, really, at the right time. So they got the feeling. And now we assure ourselves to be disingenuous because we don't understand what's happening. Not all of us, that's generalizing, you know what I mean? But over here in England, we mustn't start back up the tree of economics and all them, something they're quick, sharp. We have more important things to discuss now, which is our health. It's our health. I can't understand why some people just run about money. And that's the thing that can be the most disastrous experience. Because any form of misappropriation with money means that we've lost completely. You don't have trust, you can't play with money. You shouldn't play with money. Money is fire. Money's disunity. Money's caused problems that you never even dream of, nightmares that you could ever wish for. Nightmare. Money. It good, but it dangerous. And it's not the money does get up and talk to you and speculate. It's the people, it's us who are not matured, but want money. When you get something like that, you're supposed to run far from. You need to run far from. We need to mature. We are children. We need to mature. There's some adults out there say, who the hell am I call children? We are children. We don't know nothing about anything. We haven't been there. We haven't tested any waters. We haven't. We haven't even wished for a market. Where's our supermarket? Where's our bank? We don't have bank. If we had bank, we could have experience. And those who control the bank or monitor the bank or all these things would have been telling us, and we would be able to look at ourselves through the eyes of those who are running the bank. You see? And you know us now. We get all trigger happy and start behaving badly to say, well, we not trust this and we not trust that. Yeah? That's how we behave. 1 minute, let me check out this something there.
Yeah. More and more and more and more people are changing. Every day people are changing all over the world.
So when we do something like that now and examine ourselves through the eyes of our bank managers and so forth, we're good. Not their bank manager, ours. See? We don't have clinics. We don't have our own clinics. Our elders were needing assistance from ourselves and still do. During this duration of time, enough people come up with organic, holistic, alkaline food and everything. Where them are distribute from them home, where them are congregate or collect and mobilize and so forth. But a lot of that come up. Good. But was it a pandemic or was it a genuine? Nevertheless, it come up. But what me I tell you, say, me personally, you see the money, the economics, love it. Let us build trust. I tell you, once bitten, twice shy. Any other people get hurt through some economical movement. We finish, and our children finish. Because where I go do now? Who I go summons to illustrate trust in them now? Why? May I be cynical where I go send for Jesus and make Jesus come tell us to love and trust that name. The church run with that already. So not all near go outside can run with that again. People, I'm telling you, we have to be careful. See, we have to be careful. I would think, say, when I say wait till the ambassadors them come in and have some meeting with them ambassadors there, find out who them I represent. But build trust. Build trust. And be so bold like me as a Muslim and work with the church people them so we can have some huge auditorium to discuss our way forward and trust, with trust. Because we need to learn to appreciate each other for the long journey, which is a marathon, not a sprint, not 100 or 200 or even 400 or 800. We are talking about a marathon. And that marathon is unique. You know why it's unique? It needs to have relay. You hear that? That marathon have to have relay. So once we have this understanding of relay, you know, say it a head to the motherland. We have to connect the Caribbean dots. We have to connect the South American dots. We have to connect the diaspora dots, and then we have to connect the dots them in the motherland, which is the final destination. The final destination. I'm a sportsman in some aspects. You understand? And that sport is not all round. I develop basketball. I develop people them to become good basketball players, male or female. So, I'm grounded in terms of people management and tolerance with people. But finance is not my thing, so I may not deal with that. But I know say it's our Achilles heel. We earn money for other people. And we take money off ourselves. And then we are the greatest consumers. So work it out.
More and more and more and more people are changing. Every day people are changing according to things and time. Some change for the better, some change for the worse. Some will help you up, some will steal your purse. Some do good, yeah, some do bad. Some make you happy, and some make you sad.
Our parents did not steal the pot of the partner. The manager of the partner never run away and go America or go Canada. Some of them loose talking went round by people them who were envious. But you see, a partner is a bank without all the administration and the interest rates and investment shares, etc. Partner. The most greatest thing we can do in terms of economics across London, across the Midlands and these places was to ignite that. You understand? Because in those cities, we need institutions. We need institutions. And the institutions to represent us, not a fraction of us, represent us in totality. You'll see how quick those things happen. The same way our brothers can come from the continent and rent a old road down warehouse and transform it into a meeting place that we call a church today. And those who haven't done that, them find money among themselves for higher colleges or schools to have a place to meet. And them start meet in the 10th. Now them gone into the hundreds and the thousands. We meet for dance. Them have dance too, but you know, there's a but with them because them have more time meeting, celebrating, meeting in the name of the Lord, and they have christening, weddings, and various other memorable, cultured things. Yes, that's our brothers and sisters that come off the continent and come here in England. And them still have supplementary school and all kind of other things taking place in these places. So you have twofold. Those who rent, those who started to rent and own, and they got the building net people come in, put other floors on the place, widen the place, or scrap that place and go buy another place that the authorities or whoever show them. And them people, and my quest for trust is all these people, places I intend to be part of, requesting them the opportunity to discuss trust among African peoples. So the least we can do is re-energize, reactivate the partner. No matter how young the person is, somebody in the family can recall. And let's work that way, from the bottom up. Because what is exciting to those who have graduated and to those who have learned something about economics is that them can see the light shining if them can put 50 people and so forth people together and so on. Lovely, no problem. But you see, there's tens and hundreds going into thousands of people who don't understand them things and them see them things as shortcut. And then there's those who see something and they will come, 50 of them. But what's the focus? So to boycott produce, yep. To work the black pound, the black finance, yep. Me personally say to work what we have in our areas, them in a big pot for development, health, clinic, and other major things like that, as in partner, we can do. Because we must trust. See? So we delegate across England. See? Across our communities, across England, so we have central points. The Midlands, West Midlands, East Midlands, Central Midlands, and London. Serious thing. And there be those who will be skeptical. That's life. But I think in my art of arts, that will start running before the other thing. Yeah. And the least is that there be probably 5,000 people from the off. I tell you, trust yourselves, ourselves, and you see. And we need to just move towards the word Africans, Africa, Africans, Africa, Africans. Because when you listen to America, you know so that them people don't see them to be part and parcel of what America is. Them said those blacks, the blacks. See? They don't say the Europeans and we Americans. See? Because they're all Caucasians. You understand? Y'all, we need to spend time listening to the way those people have been projecting themselves all along, but now you can hear it clear because a lot of them are very upset. They're very upset. And they're slipping. They are slipping. You understand? Their real true selves. Huh? And there's no one or two of them is muzzling anybody. It's just coming out. So, and that's the same way them think of us here. It's only that them say migrants, immigrants, and all these things. Same thing. Because remember, over here is their brother. And over here is the teacher of them ones over there. So. You must always put the two things together and see that they're one. and Australia too. That place down yonder, and the other one called New Zealand, is one people, you know. Stop seeing the people, them are different people. I tell you. You understand? I don't care how sweet them one of them talk, because that's life. But the masters of them, So this evening now we want to look at social justice in relation to racism and what freedom means to all of us. And this is going to be alarming for some people, because I want to ask, what does freedom mean to an African child of the slave? And all of you are going to give a definition for what you think freedom is. And then we have to change it round and say, okay, you're a child of the slave, and now we're being told that we're free. A high percentage of the people on the plantation that we're on can't talk, meaning we can't understand anything. Furthermore, understand each other. So when master and him wife and whoever, I say, God damn it, right? And those who said that them run for the abolishing of slavery and everything, no jump up, because them say they are victorious. We're talking here of 1860, 1861, 62, 63, 64, and them say to we that they are free, that we are free. My question is, free to do what? And what is freedom for us? You have to understand really and truly, our people didn't know what it means. And there were very few and far in between of the hundreds and thousands that could have spoke what them call English and understood the words. We have to think properly and not run with the other man talking. And the only thing that made some of us feel good is that those who were chained up and tied up, the chain got loosened, and the thing that tie up my hand or my foot get untied. Very few understood what the hell just happened, so they didn't run. You must read the story of the Underground Railway. What she said, that there could have been many, but so much didn't move. So now you know that they didn't understand what the hell was taking place, so many of us. And that goes to the Caribbean too. So many of us didn't know what the hell was taking place. That's why in America it take all 3 years, nearly 4 years for people them and different states to tell them one another, never mind us. And just because me and you and yous out there have been privileged to learn, to go to a school and learn the English language, we think that way and think that our ancestors were comprehending the way we are able to. Nah, we need to step back. We need to step back when we're thinking and responding to our ancestors as slaves, and don't play into these people them thinking. That's why we've always been losing, and we will continue to. Because now we have to force them to make amendments. That's another educational journey, and that journey is about tolerance and patience and longevity. That's what this is all about. That's what it has always been about. And they know that they can frustrate so much of us, and then we will start playing the anarchy card, and we get very disruptive. But then there's another core that won't do that. We want to deal with what them tell us is justice and legalities. And that has been and remains our only route unless we decide to venture home. So whilst we've been in the diasporas, those of us who have become eloquent in speaking and understanding the language, their language, that's all we have been doing. Existing. See a tune like this now, and my granny and my uncle and my mother and father, my sisters and brothers, that years group there, then recall that tune there. And them know say that the lyrical content is most appropriate. But it also brought back some memories and made them start to think. So why is you in the mood of thinking? Think a little bit more. That's a big classroom, you know. Profound teacher, profound lyrics, profound words. So now, at this time, in this space, at this station, and no other station, we just have to what? Congregate and put our head, our soul, our liberty in the right place. All of us won't see, and it's not requested that you all see the same, we all see the same thing, but we all feel the same. Don't fool yourself and run from it. We all feel the same. We're spiritual beings. We all feel the same. We all do. So now we have to have a common, what we call commonality of purpose. And the purpose is the continent of the place called Kemet, Africa, Al-Kubalan. See? So once our mind is now focused on exit, we will do good. That's one journey. For those of us who are here and will be here for a length and a proportion of time, we still have things to do and we can do right here. For those who are not going to be stubborn, it's just that it's here, then want for stay. So they're not other than this. We are still the same people. See? So we will create provisions for them. Because when Musa alayhi salam was told, Moses said to God, you know, and the people that wasn't his people, that must be fully understood. Moses wasn't of the children of Jacob. Distinction. But they told him they want to go. And he said to God, the people, the Bani Israel, want to go. And I can see why, because they're being persecuted and they're not liked anymore. Life is being made difficult for them, but etc., etc. So he asked Pharaoh to let my people go. Who is his people? The people who are hearing to him. Remember, I just told you, no? He wasn't from Bani Israel. Jacob had 12 children and they were all there. So, put that to rest, all you religious dividers. And I'm not dealing with Caucasian religion, seriously. And those who do that, they are religious dividers. So, Moses said to Pharaoh, let them go. We now have to say to ourselves, we are willing to go. We're not telling nobody but ourselves. We're not sitting down pleading and begging and waiting and all this stuff. No. When we get where we're going, our fathers, our ancestors, our Dessa should have been doing that already, but we would motivate them, encourage them, and force them, if necessary, to do just that. Why am I going like that? Because I myself will be gone. You know what I mean? We have reached an age, you understand? So we're on the last laps. And we must not fool ourselves about that. We're on the last laps. You understand? Me not see my grandmother. My grandmother gone. I wish it was a situation whereby she just retired and she's still there. No, she retired out of sight. You see? So we have to accept and you know that is a natural phenomenon which will happen. You know what I mean? Right? So we have to develop our children and other children. You understand? That is going to be the transition. We can't hold on to ourselves thinking that yes, no, that is foolishness. We have to transition, and we are develop the new squad, inform them, educate them, make them stable, and enjoy them while we can, you understand? But help them to be on the right wicket, the one that we create as ourselves, our people, African people, not someone else's wicket that we're trying to maintain and make out say it's ours. That's the life we've been experiencing. Someone else's. And we've been trying to comply with that someone else's. And then every now and again, them disrespect we. And what does that do? That stops us. Because it's them who can moderate what is happening. Not us. Because we just are surviving. But when them see that we are get to a level, them just, some things happen. And that something that happen disrupts the vibes, disrupt the motion. And only them and their psychologists and philosophers understand those things. Because them spend the time monitoring, assessing, and evaluating those who are among them. See? So we're outsiders among them. You understand? And anybody who sees something different, they're an idiot. Me not hold back something. They're an idiot. Because we're there a long time and suffering abuse, racism and all these something there. You see? So that's what I'm begging. Our minds to be fixed and looking at an exit strategy. At the same time, developing trust with ourselves. Because once we have trust, like I said, the next step becomes love automatically. Yeah? So those who haven't fished, yeah, hear me now. I like this woman. My eyes see this woman, her vibration attract my magnetism. So my mindset is on discovering this woman. Fortunately for me, there's no other opposition on the horizon. So I feel I have a great opportunity. So now, whether I feel I was well fixed or I was well proportioned or not, I am going to fix up. I'm going to square up. I'm going to nice up in relation to what I am seeing of this woman. Because I want to put myself right. I want to make myself a good image. Not an impression, no, just a good image of attraction. Not fatal, but attraction. To get her attention. Because it's not for the moment. I want her attention because I want her. So you know, I say that once she allowed me into a space so we can converse, it is about the first impression that would allow me, she would allow me back into her space. You man out there, you know what I'm saying. And some of your women, you know. See? So now I have to let her feel so that I'm trustworthy. If I don't strike those cards, that she can acknowledge that I ain't like them sweet talking guy. I ain't a temptation, and I'm not one of them, you know what I mean, and so forth. Then I have a chance to present myself as a trustworthy person. But if me I come for pick her cherry, I ain't going nowhere. Because this is a well-seasoned female. Not that they not all are, but you know, you can strike a card and some things happen. But this female here, I'm looking for company. I'm looking for a family. I'm looking for what you today we call marriage. I'm looking for that. So I have to be right. So now I am projecting everything that is required, I think, of her to see that I'm trustworthy. Not to go in her bed, no, star. Trustworthy for her to think of introducing me to her family. Yeah. and let her family, her father and mother examine me. This is Africa we are dealing with. We're not dealing with Britain. We're not dealing with the Caribbean. We are dealing with Africa cultural modality. And like me, I'm dealing with Islamic principles. See? Same thing. They're all factored in. I have to say that because that's what I am and that's what I had to do and that's what I have to continue to maintain. And it's not that I don't want to and I'm saying it like I have to continue. No. It is part of life expectancy. So it's not like you have to do this. You know, it's part and parcel of. See? Yeah. And it's sweet, you know what I mean? You know when you try work the romantic thing and you have to capture your first girlfriend and everything, it tickles your emotion, tickles your fight. It's a nice thing, you know. It's sweet. And it's something to be maintained, to hold. So you understand what I'm saying? So it's trust that does all this. It's the pursuit of expressing trust, right? And once you do that now, this young lady, her barriers come down, her rightful defense ease down a bit, and then it is meet her mother, meet her father, and vice versa over here, so, and things go on good, you know. And now you relax a bit, but you continue that trot because you're excited now. You know that you're going to get your reward, right? Which is to get her a hand. Don't miss this thing, you know. You understand? And that's it. The parents, them fears, them asking her what's your whole intention. The mother from that girl asked her daughter that already. Has he told you what his intentions is? And what do you think? Now we're there upon a engagement. Now her parents are work me out now. Am I a hurry come up? Do I have patience? Tolerance and perseverance? Woo. You understand? Because now the families are now coming together. So this is why I keep talking about trust. See? Yes. Because we have to not forget the cultural modality of us as Africans. We have to divorce a lot of the European and Caribbean habits. There are some we need to, we will definitely retain, and there's some we have to park up, dash them where. So those who understand the teaching of Christ, or were told the teaching of Christ by the pastor, the preacher, and so forth, you know, so that there's those people that him elected as his disciple, him dash many things that they were doing prior to him and them acknowledging him away from them. And he developed a different mental personality within them, which becomes their cultured habits. See? So it depends on how a person reads those scriptures or keep listening to the same broken record. I don't know. I'm not holding punches, so don't say I'm disrespectful. I don't have time. 76 years. It's a long time. So it's trust. It's trust. And once we develop trust, seriously, we'll be in love with each other and we will do things properly. You understand? When a person would take time out and listen to the British parliamentary mannerisms, it's all about trust them have. Them could la against the next one and the next one. The main thing is, for them country, they want to see good for. It's good they want for them country. Them personalities get into it to a degree in relation to how much knowledge or foresight them bring into the table. Other than that, they don't require it. Them can go in the pub and talk. It's the ones that have that ability that we are dealing with. And likewise, we should do the same with us. We will always have hangers-on. And we will always have slow learners. It's no problem. The House of Lords have some fast learners and them become slow and them sit there and them advise the young bucks. You see? Because them elders now are the ones them seeking wisdom from. And tolerance plus patience. Because them can't run. But them have understood life. And most importantly, they're going to represent and does represent the very foundation of their nation. We can reproduce that to our African brothers. And we can do that right here among ourselves. But we behave like fools. We know how they formulate. Nothing wrong with it. They're looking after themselves. Give Jack their jacket. They're looking after themselves and for them country. All we have to do is ride the same thing for ourselves. And you see how quick we jettison. And you see how quick we repatriate. Yes, them should have sent we back home. But they didn't. Them open up them stupid mouth and tell our foreparents that them free. And our foreparents not understand one damn word them use. What is this free? Free to do what? What is free? And we here in the 21st century and even in the 18th, 19th century behave like say our people them understood. Stop it. Didn't understand a damn thing and didn't run go nowhere. All the braves them that wanted to be free, them kill, them cut off foot and cut off hand. Hey, listen here. And when I know the stories, they were the braves that not accepting anything. Them get so much flogging to and then soon as them heal up a little bit, them gone again, you know. We had them in the Caribbean too. They were the braves. They were the braves. And we have some other braves that learned the man's language. And soon as he was found out, or she, they were tortured. Some of them tongue was cut out. So you have to understand those tragedies. So some man come tell you, say, free. You don't know what he said. You don't know what he mean. No one is running anywhere. And then them come with this thing, 40 acres and a mule. Come on, seriously. Should not the African American be cashing that in? Martin Luther King voiced it several times. Not a thing happened. And in a country that them tell us that we were free, why would you want civil rights? You're free within the country. Why are you respected as a citizen? Why do they have to have all forms of rules and laws for black people in America? And that's so-called first world democracy that is on show. You see how them fool we? They've been fooling us a long time because we're listening and not analyzing the man's language. Plus you see is at their attitudes. But because we can sing, and they give some of us some pittance. You know, yeah, we know some of us, Michael Jordan, SP, get millions, and that's over decades. That's not just, 1865, 66, 67, no. So we need to really look and examine. And we're at the time of age with the technologies that we should analyze, review, so that we do not pay homage to these people anymore. Because that's what we continue to do. Them slap us about our heads and we still pay respectful homage, and not disconnect ourselves from that abuse. It come like sometimes we miss the slaps. So we just kind of like, hey, what happened to master? So when him turn upon we now, we feel, yeah, that's more like it. Nah, we're not that stupid. But we act it though. So we are going to read little more, because I write them a thing all about freedom. Right now I work with my head. But I have one of my sisters, Muslim sisters, that accept the teaching or the guidance of Imam Worthy Muhammad, one of the sons of Elijah Muhammad. And you would hear how eloquent she expressed social justice as a woman, as an African woman, to her African family. See? So I'm scoring these things to show you that it is Al-Islam that rescue us spiritually, mentally, the whole fabric of our being, not just the emotional side. And anyone who have read Toussaint Overture, you know say that it was an emotion that worked with him. Tolerance, patience. See? This is us. This is us. We don't need to be revved up. But if we do, it's heat. It's heat. See? But there's some of us that feels that they need to do this. And they're doing this for the opposition. And they only work or respond when the opposition tells them to. So watch and see the echo chambers soon appear on the scene. Right now, they're being told to stay silent. And very soon, those echo chambers will be released to detract and deflect what God Almighty has put before the earth. Because we have Europeans not just being sympathetic, but Europeans who want change for us where we are concerned. Europeans who see that human rights from Malik el-Shabazz, that fight, is very important for the Africans in the diasporas, particularly United States of America. Because their human nature were in one place due to this pandemic. So they wasn't rushing around, and their soul felt sore, and they related with us. Now we shouldn't disappoint the souls of human beings that wants to help us right now. Because we need help. We always have needed help. We have been and always have been and will be virtuous people. Let's show it at this point to get results for our children. I'm telling you. We owe it to all those ancestors, and we owe it to ourselves, our own families. And we must tell our brothers and sisters in America, you know, it is the Caribbean who have the punch. A we, and a full time them wake up. Because since they've taken us out, everything has remained stagnant. But look out, we're coming again. We're never going nowhere, really. But we still can't fix England. We need to fix England. If we fix England, I'm telling you, all is good. That man that runs that country, that's the head man. That man's a serious man, you know. Emperor Nero is a serious man. We better take the opportunity that we can get while Emperor Nero is fluttering. Because what comes after Emperor Nero, I tell you, listen. See, I was a good age, about 15 or something like that, you know. I love to tell people them things. You see, when you listen them lyrics there, you know, as a young age, you understand? Them young age, some people have asked themselves, what kind of upbringing did you have? We have lovely parents, man. You understand? And theological education did not bother our consciousness. What it did, it fueled it. You see? So we went against the grain because we were able to read. Okay. You want to see me in a church stamping my foot on everything. You see? Because they want me to read one line. And one line not tell nothing. So me read the whole of the Corinthians. Not the whole Corinthian thing, but if them say Corinthian 2, 3 or something, so yeah, we read all about six paragraphs. You understand? Right? Because the essence is there. And me elaborate, you know. You understand? I mean it's all 12, 13, 14. So I was destined to be a preacher in England, never. It's only through my mother that me was in the church. Other than that. And then the churchman start treat me a certain way now, you know. Why is that? Them invite me for weddings. Some weddings, they want a choir boy and everything. So they invite me for weddings. And weddings now, there's a particular fee. Right? They might pay the other people, but they not pay me. And my mother see that they're giving these people a brown little something, and we not get none. So she wait and wait and wait and see this thing happen again. So when the third time come now, she just met the pastor, the reverend, understand that what you gave and you just give to them, you got to give to him. And then my mother also, before that now, my mother take the clothes, can't remember what they call it, the clothes they put on, she just take them, bring them home, tell me bring the thing home. And my mother washed the thing. You want to see the thing that was black? It never stopped running to her teeth. Mom washed them thing there. Mom washed the white part and everything. And then she, what do you call that thing there? It's a white thing, you put it inside. She starched it. Oh gosh, man. Mama mix up this thing, put that white thing inside it that they put over the top. And she starch it, soak it in this thing, and then press it. Lord have mercy. It stood up. It stood up. Wow. And it white beyond white. So you can't call them people that wouldn't know white. See? Oh God. So the black thing now, oh, she washed that so much time, man. It made the bar filthy until it just crisp as well, man. You want to see me that Sunday? Boy, everybody stopped, including the reverend and all the other people them. My mother had me crisp. Yeah, joke. And you see, Reverend now, Reverend forgot everything and allowed me to choose the reading. Allow me for hey, it's the truth, me I tell you, you know. It's the truth. Say, help me, God. Allow me for choose my reading. Why me read? Oh gosh, man. Make my mother, hey, make my whole family proud. But my father insists it's not read me I read, it's memory me I memory. My father say, I will memorize it. Him not read. Him can't read like that. My uncle have to tell him, listen, he's reading, man. You understand? Never start read Stone. Read the whole of that Corinthian. Stamp on the floor when certain instructions were given. Pastor, Reverend never said nothing. A few months after that, I left the church. I stopped going. And my mother stopped going too. Yeah. It's not that them do it bad, but it wasn't fair. You know what I'm saying? And plus my art, you know, my heart of arts weren't there. It was just something to do, you see. Yeah. Yeah. But theological education can make you an important person. You know? And a lot of us likes that, you know. So pastor, give up the something, man, and come become a shepherd and I'm part of your flock anytime. But you hold on to that something there, nah. And I have not met a pastor, I may blow my trumpet at the moment, I've not met a pastor that can disciple that he's being trained with. You know? Because I've read and I do understand that scripture, but me not jump around like them. Them jump, them explain something from the Old Testament and them use something in the New Testament to explain. Me don't know how that happened. See? And that something there is what stuck, because we're fascinated by that type of theatrics. And I would go in a church situation and reverse all of that and then make the people to understand it's a training. There's nothing genuine. It's a training. Now listen to the right and proper way, because you have it in your hand. So I want you all to turn to this page and read this chapter. Let us read together. You understand? And don't try to tell them that this is the conclusion in a Deuteronomy. No. Deuteronomy is about Deuteronomy. And it's about the people of that precinct at that given time. Simple. But if you want to play a hopscotch about it, we can do that. And I know many pastors, they will say, "But you are Muslim. You shouldn't be able to do that." And I'm saying, I got the same training as you. Only thing, I didn't attend the school. I figured it out. And I grew up among people like yourselves. Just let our people free. Let them go. Stop holding on, putting a yoke on their minds. That'd be a nice thing, because at least I can explain free. At least I could explain free. You see. So I want you to listen to my sister. And why I said that is she came from the teaching and the guide of one of Elijah Muhammad's sons is very important, because some people condemn us because we're not running the black flag, we're not running the harsh thing that they want to say is activism. We're not talking about white man. We're talking about us. Some people feel that once you do that and you get harsh and crude, and the black man did this and the black man done that and rare, that's supposed to amplify something. Those things never touched me. My grandparents then wasn't that way inclined. Furthermore, you could never hear my grandfather talk. You have to be up close to him. You understand? And my grandmother about the same. There wasn't them type of people. So them thing never moved me. You understand? But to arouse the people, I was taught how to do that, also. You understand? You can take certain bullet points and emphasize on them, and don't leave them, but return to them as frequent as the time span that you have. Bullet points, certain words, fragrant gestures, sentences, on a repetitive stage and time. Analytical reasoning. All those things were used upon us. And the worst thing has happened is that our own people are using it on us right now. Have been using it anyway for many years on us. And they charm us. So back to Elijah Muhammad's son, W.D. Muhammad, Word D. Muhammad. He's our teacher. He's our guide. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless him, forgive him, and give him Jannat al-Firdaus, because he has passed. But we love him. He loved us as a people. And he knew our freedom, or some of our freedoms, is from our own intellectual capacity and following right guidance and developing ourselves as free human beings. So listen to my sister.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Now I can hear you. It's wonderful to be here again. I was here last year, and it was a wonderful convention, and I'm sure that it'll continue to be the same this year, inshallah. I've been asked to talk about the African American Muslims and the social justice movement. Now that's a very big topic. So since I'm the only speaker and I have about 20 minutes to talk with you, I just want to share a few ideas and issues that I encounter in my work, in my decades-long work as a social justice, what I call social justice advocate and activist. And that covers a lot of ground as well. So I'd like to fast forward to the climate that we're living in now. But in order to do that, I need to address some of the issues that I've been asked to address, namely the experience of African American Muslims and our struggle in this part of the world, and how we have not only carried the legacy of resistance against injustice, we continue to do that, and we are focused more broadly on not only having our own struggles for social justice, and they have never just impacted African Americans, but they are really for society at large. So we are now at a time when it's critical that we build coalitions as we have, but now to broaden that struggle so that we widen our tent, as it were, because at this present time, no doubt, we do need all hands on deck. And at the human level, we are all really the same. So as one of our leaders once said, that injustice anywhere in the world it impacts all of us, no matter where we are. So I think that that's fitting, and it's something that we need to keep in mind. To try and be true to the topic that's been given to me, I'd like to try and focus on raising our awareness about some of the language that we use. Some of it is self-created. Other parts of it are given to us, and for many reasons we embrace the labeling, right? And I think that we're at a stage now where we are wise enough and have enough experience, certainly a younger generation coming, and we have elders who have been in this struggle for many, many decades, so that we can begin now to analyze for ourselves and create our own language and push back on the language that is not intended to represent us adequately and with dignity. So the issue of slavery is one of the topics that I've been asked to speak to, and I wanted to ask us to consider, when we use this label in trying to address the issue of the African American, our struggle in this part of the world as African American Muslims and Africans in general, that we understand that no one is born a slave. And when people are captured, as was our experience, kidnapped from Africa, brought to these shores, and enslaved. So that is the true status of our condition at that time, that we as Africans were not slaves, but we were enslaved. So I think that it's important that we adopt this language instead of referring to enslaved people who were brought here forcibly as enslaved and not slaves. So I want to put that out there, and it can be translated in many languages, including the Arabic language. I understand that there are some issues that we are facing in the Muslim community about this label, abd, and we need to make sure that we understand the impact that it has on us, and that it has no place in our community as practiced Muslims. We know that Islam teaches us that there is no place for it in our religion. So it moves us to work harder to make sure, to ensure that our Islamic principles override our cultural practices. And I want to say also that this issue of enslavement of Africans is not something unique to Muslims or to Arab societies, but it has gone to many other places. But this is one of the places that we have to address, especially in this session. So I want to put that out to you. And I know also that these are often very difficult topics for us as a community to address, but it's important that we address them and pull out all of those challenging topics that are very difficult to address. But when we have the courage and the commitment and the knowledge to do that, we liberate ourselves from baggage. Someone sent me a post the other day. They said that history is, I can't recall the exact words, but they were saying that history is something that happened to us. We must build on what we learned from history, but it's not an indictment. So to our credit and to our advantage, when we are strong enough, honest enough, and courageous enough to tackle those very, very difficult subjects, such as slavery, for instance. I mean, the trauma is lasting. One of our geneticists was telling us that when people live through this kind of trauma, that it has the potential to actually change their DNA, which is amazing. So we can see that manifested in the society today. Many of us are really carrying that altered DNA, and we have to create some new lines of communication and experiences for our children so that they don't continue to carry those destructive genes, DNA, that have been created by gross injustices to humanity, really. So these are things that I wanted to share with you. Another point that I wanted to make also is that when we talk about struggling for social justice, we are not just talking about ourselves as Muslims. We know that in the past, the obstacles that we have been able to overcome, certainly as an African American community, but I think more broadly as Muslim community, has been recognizing that our liberation is really bound up and tied to the liberation of other people. So that when we stand up and we're visible on the side of justice, it means that we're standing up on the side of justice, not just for ourselves, but for other people who are struggling in the world, no matter where they are. And it becomes our responsibility and our ethical bearings to speak out and join with people who are trying to build a better world. And often that's not the stance that's going to get you the scholarship at Harvard, Princeton, or Yale. And there are costs for speaking out against injustice. But frankly, when you live in integrity, and that is part of living in integrity, there's no price for that. It's invaluable. So it can't be bought or bestowed upon you, but you have to claim that for yourselves. We have to claim that for ourselves. So I'm encouraging you, and especially younger generation, to be bold enough to not just be vested in your career, how much money you can make, or what suburb we can live in, but to really stand for principled values. And when we do that, we know that Allah will open up ways and give us all of the benefits that we deserve and much of what we desire, inshallah. Yeah. Now, there's much to say here about the climate that we're living in. And I believe, and I think history will bear us out, that much of what we're experiencing today as Islamophobia is really rooted in racism, yeah? And so it's important that we make sure that the conversation that we're having is connected to that experience and the history of what that means. We know that much of the devastation that's happening in the world today, frankly, is not new. And again, it brings us back to the necessity of learning about our history in this part of the world. And it doesn't mean that we're isolated to this part of the world. We're connected to the global community, and it's important to keep that in focus, that we are not just an offshoot somewhere living in the West, but we are part of the global Muslim community. And that concept of ummah must resonate with us very powerfully. And again, when we see our sisters and brothers suffering in any part of the world, including this part of the world, it becomes our duty and our responsibility to find ways to speak out and to support the people who are struggling at this time. And we know that according to our tradition, there are 3 ways to do this. The most meritorious way is to stop the evil with our own hands. And if we are not able to do that, if we are not in a position of power to do that, then we must speak about it, you know. We must tell other people what the experience is like and stand up and be visible for the people who are going through these experiences, to know that they are not alone and that there are people also struggling with them. And if you're not able to do that, then the least meritorious way is to really feel very badly for those things deep down in your heart. And I think that if we are able to even get to that level, it will propel us to get to the 2nd and 3rd level, inshallah. Now, it's really not a scary time. It's really a wonderful time that we're living in, because despite all of the challenges that we're facing, there are incredible opportunities that are embedded in what now looks like madness, you know. So we need to, as Betty Shabazz, who was a friend of mine, she used to say, find the good and praise it, yeah? So we need to start looking around for the good and elevating it and amplifying it. And we need to bring back the beauty of Islam. I mean, we're not all just struggling in trauma and, you know, running away from torture and oppressive governments, you know, but we have something very beautiful in Islam. And so I'd like to encourage us to also bring back the arts and have the arts speak to the issues of the day. We call it speaking truth to power, you know, and art has a role in this as well. So those of you out there who are artists or artistically inclined, make sure that your work is not just cute, you know, or the thing of the past, you know, of the day, but that it's really something that's feeding the people who are on the ground suffering every day atrocities. So that becomes the artist's experience and responsibility as well. Our children are watching us, you know, and I mean, there's no use saying it's somebody else's fault, or, you know, we have to reclaim our families. And I don't know if you are aware, but there is historical evidence that even during the enslavement period, Muslims found a way to be Muslims. And one of my former colleagues at the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture, where I work, Dr. Sylviane Diouf, wrote this little book, a beautiful book. It's called Servants of Allah. African Muslims enslaved in the Americas. It's an easy read, you know, but it's a beautiful entree into the deeper historical record about how Africans were brought here to this place, and how, despite enslavement, they still managed to hold on to their religion, you know, underground in whatever ways that they could. Sylviane Diouf tells us that even during enslavement, when they had no food themselves, that they fasted, you know, that they gave sadaqah, you know, which is an amazing thing. And now here we are, very blessed in so many ways. We have no real excuse for hiding ourselves from the rest of the world. We need to, as my Christian family and other colleagues say who belong to that faith, you know, let your little light shine, you know. So get out in the world and be present, support other people who are doing amazing work. And inshallah, I think that the world is really waiting for Muslims to come forward. And it doesn't just mean speaking, you know, eloquently or reciting, you know, our accolades about how many degrees or how much money, you know, or how much status in life, in the society that we have. That the most important thing is the taqwa in our hearts and how we really relate to our fellow human beings, Muslim or otherwise. And again, there are so many issues. You know, my life experience really has so many tentacles. So when I'm asked to speak about the African American Muslim experience, and I take this even to my work, when I'm asked to do a project or speak about the African American Muslim experience, I do that, but I see it also as a way to open up the conversation, to see that Islam is a global phenomenon, right? And that is a gift that we have among ourselves as Muslims. But we must recognize it as a gift and as a responsibility. And one of the things that we really have to do, because we get attacked with it often, right? The issue of the treatment of women in our religion, we must deal with that, because we have daughters that are looking at us. And I tell you, the time has come. They are not willing to take the kinds of abuses that their mothers and their grandmothers have endured. So it becomes our responsibility again to let our light shine, to show by example what a gift, what an honor Islam is for Muslim women. And of course, African American Muslim women, those of us who came from Christian backgrounds and who embraced Islam, many of us were living the life, you know, as Americans, right? And looking for something to save our lives, literally, from the society that was rampant with all kinds of things that told us we were free, but were actually killing to the spirit and to the soul. So we saw Islam as this lifeline for us, and we hold on to that dearly. And at the same time, it empowers us to feel ourselves bold enough, strengthened enough by our faith in our Creator to speak the issues that we need to speak as ethical human beings on the planet. And of course, Muslim women in particular, African American Muslims in general, have and continue to carry the brunt of that movement, you see. So I'll encourage you to make sure that when we are dealing in this context, the American context, that we not overlook, but that we seek out the experiences of African American Muslims, because there's deep wisdom there about lessons learned, successes had, setbacks had, and how do we move forward that becomes a necessary endeavor. And you're not going to get that at any of the Ivy League colleges or universities per se. So that means that it has to become an active pursuit on your part to make sure that you educate yourself about the history of the place where you live, right? Because this is the reality on the ground. And whatever we've been taught that it should be or could be, we have to know what the reality is. And you learn some of that reality by being in close touch with people who've lived it every day for centuries, right? And still, as Maya Angelou used to say, still we rise. And so we all rise with the beauty and the power and the gift and honor that Islam bestowed upon us. These are not options. These are really mandatory things that we have to do. And I would also encourage you also to try and deepen the conversation about what that looks like. Often we will come together in settings, and especially interfaith settings, where we will always focus on how many beautiful things we have and that we share in common, which is a beautiful thing, no doubt. But we also must dig really deep and tackle those very troubling issues that we know exist, but that we shy away from. Everybody shies away from it because we don't want to rock the boat or disturb the peace, as it were. But if and until we are bold enough, courageous enough, and really honest enough to say, we are at the human level, but there are some issues in our community and in other communities as well that we must address. And these are the ones that burden our hearts, that break us, that hurt us as we live in our faith community. So we have to be the ones to say we want to go deeper. We want to address those really hard issues that nobody wants to talk about. And inshallah, I think that once we do that, we free ourselves. We are liberated to go on and fly and do all of the wonderful things that Islam inspires us to do. So the challenges, again, are an incredible opportunity, and I hope that we can take advantage of those opportunities. Our children, as I said, are really watching us. I mean, the internet and all of these things are wonderful tools, but they are tools, and they can be tools for good or bad. And it becomes our responsibility to make sure that it's used for the good, because if we don't, we find ourselves doing crisis intervention, on a daily basis. And we need to move beyond that so that we can live wholesome, healthy lives and happy lives, beautiful lives. So I would encourage us really to not be afraid to speak out. And I'm talking to the women now. Be bold, be firm, be grounded in your deen, though. It's very important that you know your religion, so that when you advocate, not only on your own behalf, but on other people's behalf as well. Because always know that other people are watching you, right? Your children are watching you. People outside the Muslim community are watching, see? So we have to do this. I mean, it's a wonderful experience. And again, I say, these are the beauties and the gifts that Islam has given us. So why not show that to the rest of the world? There are so many things that we have that are troubling our community now. And the African American community is not exempt from that. But I'm encouraging you to do your homework, do a little research. Come to places like the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. Read some books, get a mentor. Mentors are very important, in life. There are people who have struggled and still live to stand and say they are Muslims. So again, I hope that we'll be strong enough to do that. My time is up. I'd love to chat with you, off stage. because there's really a lot of work that we have to do. And I thank you for your patience and your time. Assalamu alaikum.
If you disrespect everybody that you're running to, how in the world do you think everybody's supposed to respect you?
the murder of Mr. Garner, choked to death by the hands of police officers. And now we have witnessed the murder of Mr. Floyd at the knee of a police officer, face driven into the concrete until life had departed. In the Caribbean, we have watched with horror the sheer evil involved in these acts of the greatest criminal inhumanity. There has been a tendency to imagine that these are American phenomena and that they are in some ways alien to our Caribbean world. That the circumstances leading to these tragic developments are really none of our affair, except at the level of humanity and its concern for all fellow human beings. As historians, we have a responsibility to connect the dots and to show that indeed these developments, the recent expression of the loss of George Floyd from our family, is indeed a Caribbean cause. The struggle is a Caribbean struggle. And it's important to look at the context within which all of this has occurred. When the Europeans took 15 million of our ancestors out of Africa, destroyed their families, destroyed their individuality, destroyed their culture, dragged them across the Atlantic and scattered them through the Americas, with the lion's share of that trade in chain bodies focused on the Caribbean world. We have to recognize that the colonies of the United States, from the point of view of the enslavement of African peoples, that it really was a Caribbean project that was transported into the United States. It was in the Caribbean that Britain, the first European nation to declare in constitution and law that African people are not human beings, that African people are chattel, property, and real estate. This was a British legal invention that was developed specifically for the Caribbean. And it was implemented in the Caribbean islands, Barbados, Jamaica, and St. Kitts as the epicenter of this business model. It was this business model which the British developed for the Caribbean, in which African people were constructed as a commodity. It was this model that was transplanted into South Carolina. And South Carolina became the first American colony that was built entirely upon the enslavement of African peoples, And South Carolina became the first colony in America where Africans were the majority. It is not surprising that South Carolina was therefore created by the Caribbean slave owners. The slave owners of Barbados and Jamaica were given royal access to that space called South Carolina and transported the Caribbean slavery world into the US as a business proposition that you can build an entire economy upon enslaved labor. So the movement of that economic system into the US, where it grew to maturity and expanded, began in the Caribbean. So we were there at the beginning. From South Carolina, it spread across the United States, so that those colonies, building themselves upon the economics of enslaved Africans, were doing so in the context of a model that originated in the Caribbean and was migrated into the United States. The Americans fought for their war of independence, and they won against the British. And they had a golden opportunity to build the new vibrant nation on the basis of freedom and democracy for all. But they chose instead to build the nation upon a foundation of slavery, develop freedom for all white people and slavery for all black people. That was the foundation on which the United States was built. A democracy, as they called it, a democracy for the few, slavery for the majority. Because freedom and slavery could not coexist comfortably in the same space. 100 years later, they had to go back to the battlefield in the Civil War to litigate this problem, that you cannot build a free democratic society on the basis of slavery. They went back to the Civil War and fought one of the bloodiest wars in human history to make that point conclusively clear. But they replaced slavery with the Jim Crow, or what we call apartheid. And for another 100 years, following slavery, we had racial apartheid based on the principle that had been there from the beginning, that black people are not humans, that they are property, real estate, and their role is to provide labor within the economy and society. So what we witness in Minneapolis was the legacy of this tradition. But we also must bear attention to the fact that there is another legacy, that Caribbean folks have long been involved in the affairs of the United States because we have always seen the islands and the mainland as interconnected, dialectically bound, working through the same historical processes. So we in the Caribbean have always seen our role in facilitating the liberation of black people, north and south. And therefore, when Marcus Garvey departed Jamaica, the Caribbean, to go into Harlem and headquarter what will become the greatest black civil rights movement of all times, dedicated to the upliftment of the dignity of the Black person. When he departed the north coast of Jamaica into the heart of New York to spread a movement across the United States and across the world dedicated to the upliftment of the Black soul and the Black dignity, that we understood from then that what was happening to the Black people of America was a Caribbean concern, because we have been connected by history and circumstances. Then, with the passing of Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King Jr. taking responsibility for this movement of uplifting the dignity of the Black people against a history of the legacy where we are treated as property, real estate, non-human, and animals of a sub-nature, he would come back to the Caribbean to renew his soul. And all of that moment when they were trying to take his life, he would retreat to the Caribbean. He would come to Jamaica. He would then fill his lungs with fresh air, rebuild his confidence, refocus his spirit, and from Jamaica, he would return to the mainland to continue that struggle. And therefore, Marcus Garvey went north. Martin Luther King came south and forged that inevitable bond of our commitment. We have seen this also with Malcolm X, who was raised in a West Indian household because his parents, with that West Indian upbringing, infused in him those values that as a matured man, he should take wider responsibility. Again, another Caribbean intervention. And so when Bob Marley, the Buffalo Soldier, when he wrote those songs within the tradition of the Garvey and the King legacy, that we must get up, we must stand up, we must defend our dignity, Bob Marley, and with his lyrical genius, was building upon a foundation, a long foundation, in which all of the African family was bound together. And so, when that policeman placed his knee at the throat of Mr. Floyd, it was reminiscent of all of those images that we have seen across the United States of Black men and Black women and Black children hanging from trees with ropes around their neck, gasping for breath until it was all gone. As historians, we have not had to wait on the television spectacle to understand this. The documents in the archives from New York to Minneapolis, to Miami, to Kingston, to London, the archives are filled with the documentation of these acts of the extinction of Black life, where the taking of Black life became a cultural game. It became a social sport. And this is why when this police officer is kneeling with a sense of authority upon the throat of Mr. Floyd, kneeling into his throat with his hand in his pocket, balanced and poised, as if speaking to a gallery, as if speaking to an audience, triumphant, celebratory, like a fisherman who holds his catch of the day high and above, showing to the world, look what I have caught. This officer so postured was celebrating his triumph. And together as a hunting pack, taking their prey to the ground and watching the last fluttering breaths of life removed from their prey. Like a fish fluttering upon a fisherman's deck, fluttering until it can flutter no more. This was the evil that can never be accepted in a world filled with human beings. That's the kind of evil from a place called hell that has penetrated into the human existence and is determined to convert all of us into precisely what the British did, define us as non-human property and real estate. That all of us who was forced to view on a virtual landscape, live and direct, in a theatrical fashion, all of us were called upon to witness sheer evil, evil beyond hate, on display as a 21st century spectacle. No longer the world of the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries of slavery, but a 21st century spectacle that is in the direct lineage and legacy of that world that continues to exist in our historical moment and time. It is therefore for us not a matter to view over the boundaries of a nation, in which we in the Caribbean say, this is an American problem. This is not an American problem. In any event, if it is an American problem, it is partly of a Caribbean creation, because the Caribbean was where that world was first hatched. We all must see this as our problem. Marcus Garvey knew exactly the struggle to which he was going to dedicate his life. In every colony of the United States, he was there calling for the dignity of the Black soul. Malcolm X understood that. Martin Luther King understood that. Bob Marley. All of the great Caribbean minds understood that those experiences in the United States are domestic to us. And so we now understand. We now understand that when two big African American men, Mr. Garner, magnificent, strapping man, Mr. Floyd, large, enormous, magnificent, strapping man, brought down to their knees and onto their bellies on the ground by police officers and their lives snuffed out, that was a dramatic process. That was a theatrical process by which you hunt wild animals, throw the net over them, drag them to the ground, take your knife or your knee or your hands and take the life out of them. They can flutter until they are dead. The world saw this. The world saw that this was the evil that Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King wanted to eradicate. It is a legacy for all of us. It is an American crime. It is a Caribbean cause. and it's a global struggle. It might have happened, captured by the electronic eye. But what that electronic eye captured, the archives of the world are filled with this kind of experience. So we give thanks for the electronic eye for opening for us the door to a bigger world. The endemic, pandemic culture of taking Black life as a cultural game, as a social sport. This is going to be the great struggle facing us going forward. This is going to be the struggle that humanity would have to wage if this 21st century, this long 21st century ahead of us, is going to be a livable space, livable at the threshold of humanity at its best, of morality on display. Thank you.
justice. Everyone is crying out for peace, yes. None is crying out for justice. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. Got to get it. Equal rights and justice. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Followers of Jesus, everybody wants to go up to heaven, but none of them want to die. I don't want no peace. I might need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I really need it. Equal rights and justice. Just give me my share. Equal rights and justice. What is due to Caesar? You better give it on to Caesar. Hey, hey, hey. And what belongs to I and I? You better give it up to I. 'Cause I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I got to get it. Equal rights and justice. I'm fighting for it. Equal rights and justice. Everyone heading for the top, but tell me how far is it from the bottom? Nobody knows, but everybody fighting to reach the top. How far is it from the bottom? I don't want no peace. I want equal rights and justice. I need equal rights and justice. I've got to get equal rights and justice. I really need it. Equal rights and justice. Everyone is talking about crime. Tell me, who are the criminals? I said everybody's talking about crime. Tell me, who are the criminals? I really don't see them. I don't want no peace. I need equal rights and justice. We got to get equal rights and justice. And there be no crime. Equal rights and justice. There be no criminals. Equal rights and justice. Everyone is fighting for equal rights and justice. Palestinians fighting for equal rights and justice. Down in Angola, equal rights and justice. Down in Botswana, equal rights and justice. Down in Zimbabwe.
Russia. Equal rights and justice right here in Jamaica. Equal
Watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Inside Washington's Museum of the Bible, a single volume that is like no other. The so-called Slave Bible, remarkable not for what's in it, but for what's not.
So about 90% of the Old Testament's been removed and about 50% of the New Testament's been removed. To put it another way, a normal King James Version has 1,189 chapters in it. The Slave Bible has only 232.
Missing are chapters and verses that might have encouraged uprisings. Book of Exodus, redacted. No story of Moses demanding Pharaoh, "Let my people go." Gone is Galatians, and the verse, "There is neither bond nor free, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus." And no Jeremiah, "Woe unto him that useth his neighbor's service without wages."
What they've left in are verses such as Ephesians 6:5, which is the famous verse, "Slaves, be obedient to your master."
Looking at this Bible, it's hard to tell that anything's been taken out of it.
That's correct. I mean, it looks like a normal book. For many enslaved Africans, this would have been the first time they were exposed to the Bible.
A Bible selectively edited to instill obedience, using religion to underpin the horror of slavery. When people encounter this exhibit, what lasting impression do you want them to leave with?
But we want to pass the message on that may this never happen again. The Bible itself is a whole book. It's not one that you get to carve up and use this piece or that piece.
The Slave Bible designed to repress rebellion, but it didn't work. Enslaved people in the Caribbean constantly fought against slavery until emancipation.
I think it's very relevant to understand our history, not just American history, but our African American history, our roots and how we got to this point.
A dark chapter in the history of the good book. Jeff Bennett, NBC News, Washington.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.
Jah people, don't your beak on a cherry. Jah people, don't be tricked by a mercenaries. Open your eyes.
You got to ask God for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You got to do your research for what you believe in for. You got to invest your time, your energy, all that, so you can do what you supposed to do and excel in it. Y'all be thinking y'all waiting on God, and honey, God be waiting on you. What you waiting on? Do your part.
Jah people, don't your beak on a cherry. Jah people, don't be tricked by a mercenaries. Open your eyes. A message in the healing. Wake up, be wise. Truth is revealing. In harm is known. Message to be the prophet. Message. And now you're telling me. Message say it come from Japhet. Move the devil doctrine, the false Jesus. A king
Solomon, a bloodline in Ethiopia. History no lie, he's the Lion of Judah. Me trod through Jerusalem, but put me on the stone in the sepulchre. They couldn't conquer me. Brainwashing hypocrisy. Them educated criminals. Blood-sucking vampire society. And the trumpet is a trumpeting a say. Yes. Make a way for the positive a day. Your children, don't you peek on a tree. Oh Lordy, your people don't be tricked by a mercenaries. Open your mind, a message in the healing. Wake up, be wise. Truth is revealed. In harm is no one. To be the prophet. And now you're telling me say it come from Japhet. And the move the devil doctrine, the false Jesus. Solomon bloodline, a king of Solomon, a bloodline in Ethiopia. History no lie, he's the Lion of Judah. Me trod through Jerusalem, put me hand on the stone in the sepulchre. Couldn't conquer me. Brainwashing hypocrisy. Them educated criminals. Blood-sucking vampire society. And the trumpet is a trumpeting a say. I make a way for a positive a day. The trumpet is a trumpeting a say. I make a way for the positive and a positive day. I tell you again, King Solomon, bloodline, message Ethiopia, forever, message King Solomon. Bloodline, message Ethiopia, forever. The trumpet is a trumpeting a say. So make a way for the positive day. Allah, Allah, Allah. Allah, Allah, Allah.
Have to understand, faith without works is dead. You know what that means? You can't expect what you believing for without doing your part. You gotta work that thing, honey.
Yeah. Got to tell you, 'cause it's true. So as it were in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. With thunder, earthquake, and lightning, Jehovah dashed them again and again. I'm alone in this wilderness. Lord, you know I'm trying to do my best to make my life secured from this poverty. Yet all I see around me is pure leaders are dealing with partiality. False leaders are dealing with a whole lot of hypocrisy. What you gonna do, nana? Yeah. What you gonna say? Tell me what you gonna do now. Yeah, we came a long way, and we still got a long way to go. All the fussing and the fighting, Jehovah help us, I know. What you gonna say now? Yeah, now. So as it were in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. With earthquake, lightning, and thunder, Jehovah dash them again and again. False leaders are dealing with partiality. False leaders are dealing. And you know that it's true. What you gonna do? You know that it's true, yeah. Every vine shall find its own fig tree, but Africa is for me. Every vine's gonna find its own fig tree, but Africa is for me. Tell me what you gonna say now.
I play one special request for our new sister in. See, listen. What? I just feel say one of them time there your age you love that tune. Now listen, not true. Memories.
it, yeah, no. So I man I go down there. Everyone I go down there. We must have to go back there. Black man have to go back in Africa. Chinese man I go back in China. Syrian I go back in Syria. Indian I go back in India. The white man I go back in Europe. Anything they do, we must have to get through. Anything they say, we must have to get through. No matter what the wicked man I say, no matter what the wicked man I do, we must have to get through. If I egg, we in at the red. If I bread, we dip on the head. If I jacket, we get in at the pocket. If I salt, we drop in at the pot. If I pop, we float on the top. Anything they do, we must have to get through. Anything they say, we must have to get through. No matter what the wicked man I say, no matter what the wicked man I do, we must have to get through. Everyone I go back home, Lord, we must have to go back there. No matter what the world might say. Ooh, well, we'll have to go back there, yeah, oh, yeah. When the right time come, it will be dread for some, but no one can stop the righteous ones. Repatriation is a must. We must have to go back there. No matter what the wicked man I say, no matter what the wicked man I do. Chinese man I go back in China. Syrian I go back in Syria. Indian I go back in India. The white man I go back in Europe. No matter what the wicked man I say, no matter what.
Now we come to the payoff. Now we come to the payoff.
We must have to get through. Yeah, we must have to get through.
Pull it up, selector. Pull it up, selector. I Lego this year one, yeah.
Do you know what it means to have a revolution? And what it takes to make a solution? Fighting against oppression. Ooh, yeah. But love one another.
Pull it up, selector. Pull it up, selector.
Shit, man.
I Lego this
We
year
run
one,
the
yeah.
street at night, fuss and fight. We don't have no respect for a black brother. We are afraid of revolution, man. Why we are afraid of revolution, man? Why we are afraid of revolution? Black man, come here fi bear tribulation. Black man, come here fi fight liberation. Time fi we have a revolution. Man said that time fi
Pull
we
it up,
have a
selector.
revolution.
Pull it up, selector.
Shit, man. We even rob the street at night, fuss and fight. We don't have no respect for a black brother. We are afraid of revolution, man. Why we are afraid of revolution, man? Why we are afraid of revolution? Black man, come here fi bear tribulation. Black man, come here fi fight liberation. Time fi we have a revolution. Man said that time fi we have a revolution. For Babylon, them a keep up corruption. Oh, them a hold Natty Jed in a detention. Say them a shoot out Jaja children it no mention. Said every day we get up and we grumble. Man, every day we get up and we humble. We too soft, we too...
Bad-minded people. Now watch them cause I saw them stay. Jealous heart people. Now watch them cause I saw them stay. When things gone wrong I stay sometime will. Now listen them because them bad minds subtle. When them a talk we no hear them. We no need them so we not go near them. When them a talk we no hear them. See that? Oh! Bad-minded people. Now watch them cause I saw them stay. Jealous heart people. Now watch them cause I saw them stay. When things gone wrong I stay sometime will. Now listen them because them bad minds subtle. When them a talk we no hear them. We no need them so we not go near them. When them a talk we no hear them. Coulda be the baddest bully we no fear them. When them a talk we no hear them. We no need them so we not go near them. When them a talk we no hear them. Coulda be the baddest bully we no. No time for loose slip a talk. Dirty word them a throw to them carry dirty heart. That's why them stoop low. Bird is the wind but you can't fling a blow. Man I coulda pop it up but I chew them no know. Give them your right, them things say you're soft. Them chicks say that you got down but you rise and a flash. Them call your boss behind your back them still a laugh. Tell them take off the hypocrite mask. When them a talk we no hear them. We no need them so we not go near them. When them a talk we no hear them. Coulda be the baddest bully we no fear them. When them a talk we no hear them. See that? Oh! At it.
Believe me, no man.
One thing. Whoa. Well, repatriation now is a must. Come on, brothers and sisters.
Pull it up, selector. Pull it up, selector.
Yeah, man of the roots once again. Rockers reggae music.
Whoa. Well, repatriation now is a must. Come on, brothers and sisters, don't make no fuss. Repatriation, no. Ayo. Repatriation now is a must. It's full time now for I man to go to Island Glen. Full time now.
Yeah, man of the roots once again. Rockers reggae music.
Yesterday, today and forever, I and I still stand for the same thing. Truths and rights is the order of the day. Truths and rights is still relevant today. Truths and rights, we need more love, I say. Truths and rights is the order of the day. There will be no peace, till we respect and love each other. Tired of all these wars, we killing our own brothers and sisters. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. That's how you want us to be. Love your brothers as you love yourself and live in harmony. There will never be no peace, until we all love and respect each other. Tired of all this war, we're killing our own brothers and sisters, yeah. Truths and rights is the order of the day. Truths and rights, that's the better way. Truths and rights to guide us on the way. Truths and rights still relevant today. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There will never be no peace. We will learn to love and respect each other. Tired of all these wars. Time for us to get it back together. Truths and rights more relevant today. Truths and rights is the order of the day. Truths and rights guided by the principles, I say. Principles of just, that's the only way. Love your neighbors as you love yourself. That's the way I want us to be. Love your brothers as you love yourselves and live in unity. There will never be no peace, till we all love and respect each other. I know you're tired of all these wars, 'cause we're killing our own brothers and sisters. Let me tell ya, killing our own family, and that's why truth and rights is the way to be. That's the way.
Yes, people. So we say to some rhythms, the full intention. But as an African family, we should first love ourselves and recognize our moral structures as we mature in humanity. That needs to be consistent. That teaching needs to be in the mosque, in the church, in every fraternity there is on the street, among our children, social conversation. As African families, we need to love ourselves first. Develop our relationships and recognize our moral structures as we mature in humanity. Not wait for someone else or any others to acknowledge us. We need to acknowledge ourselves. Our spiritual devotion is a must. It's just about all it is requiring is the recognition of such. So the discourse we have through mental emotional stress, them things there can not eradicate but eliminate it through spiritual devotion. We need to be sensitive when we speak in relation to spiritual matters. That sensitivity comes with patience and tolerance. And for that which I am focusing on, trust, we will gain it. Because there's one thing that I know, and you all know. We are a generous and we are a courteous people. Some people try to take our kindness as weakness. And most times we allow it because we're that generous. We are people that's ruled by our spiritual understandings. We are. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that others, throughout the time, our existence has taken liberties of that. So, as the men, we have to be strong. Not harsh, not brute. We have to be strong. Because see, that energy first is recognized by our women. And if the man accept that it's the woman we have, or the women we have to cherish and represent, if the man recognize that it's the women that we have to cherish and represent, then you see that we will feel that spiritual devotion, the man will feel that spiritual devotion. And we all seek after it. But it shouldn't be a fleeting moment. That's where we deceive ourselves. It shouldn't be a fleeting moment. It's a lifetime journey. That's the village. That's the development. The village is not some place you just pass through. It's some place you commemorate, some place you build. It's a structure. You see? So if you want to be a city person, then you have nothing to do with African modality. But yet still you can live in a city. But you remember something from me, we're coming from bottom up, not up down. See? So it is all about developing structures, ourselves developing structures, and relearning many things about ourselves. See? One thing that I know that everyone else knows is that in our DNA, that Africa has remained there. We long for it. For it. No matter what poetry, no matter what protest song, no matter what, we yearn for it. Our souls yearn for it. Our being yearn for it. So there's so many things we have to relearn. But one thing I can tell you is that we don't need an authority to do that for us. We do not. The harshness that is being inflicted upon us after what is just happening, what we are going through. We should be teaching ourselves and our children to eliminate harshness, and rivalries. We should be doing that. In the time that we have, we should be doing that. Because it'd be a shame and a tragedy that after this pandemic, chaotic madness continues on the streets. So the spirits is in control due to the fear of this pandemic. We mustn't let rivalries because of the British establishment provokes and entrap our young people to decide that them have to show their American counterpart that them can rip down statues and structures in England. There's one thing about Britain. It always seeks revenge. We don't have no structures. We can table our dislike, and that's what I think. We shouldn't join anybody to rip anything down. We can table it. We can table our dissatisfaction, our disgust. We can do that. We should even write to the Queen, Her Majesty. We can do these things. Don't let some old folk like me come tell you, say, that ain't gonna work. Britain's law works for British people. We'll go out there and we cause anarchy and we rip down something. We're breaking their law. And whatever punishment them throw at us, we will have to accept it. We can and should let our complaints be heard. England prides itself on knowledge and jurisprudence. We know we can table our dissatisfaction and we can also table our requests in relation to all the monies that they have declared in the last 5-6 years that their banks have received. We can do that. There's so much people working on all those things. But we need to speak to ourselves. We need to communicate with ourselves. See, this is what is important. So that we all don't just we allow other people, because we're allowing other people to lead our children, our warriors, lead them into rampage. No, we don't need to be doing all that. I don't want to know that my son is gone out, but my son isn't come back. And then when I hear something about my son, him is in some detention, juvenile detention, listen, man. In America, can't you see what is happening? The people are saying, you do this, we do that. See? And we've had some hangings. And we have some police showing that them dissatisfied with what people are saying, right? They are law unto themselves, them run themselves. Threatening and all kind of some things. So we should keep the spiritual movement going. We should show patience, and we should show we should be intellectually prudent and don't waste our brain cells, because there's so much available to us. This would be a wonderful day in court. You don't know, this would be a wonderful time to be in court. This would be a wonderful time to draw some charges at International Criminal Court. You see all America run from there. They might try show people, the people them say, watch out, honor can't summons us. This would be a wonderful time to be at court. So the whole world can look in and see us. See how artistic, mentally artistic we are. And they can recognize, examine, and see and hear all the atrocities that we have been put through for so much years. Don't let one set of people get that because of an atom bomb. Come on, man. That's why they have that relationship, and they've got Palestine. Our continent is Africa. That's where Britain took us from. And that's what we want them for. Send we back. Make all it possible. And then we want to charge them for crimes against humanity. We can do that. I will stop behaving like we are frightened. See, we have to do that. Stop behaving like poodle. Or the queen of poodle. Our families, them, our ancestors have lion, cheetah, and a big thing called the leopard, cat. And them thing we have. We have dog as watchman. We have no dog that we're in love with and sleep with. No. You understand? And them let the bigger cats them. Let them be. Then let them be. They don't put them in a cage. So when you open up the door, they don't know what to do. That's what they've done to us. And them tell us we are free. We here who have been educated here and graduated here, we don't know what freedom is. We can give all the superlatives about freedom, and we can outright the definitions of the dictionaries about freedom, but we do not know what freedom is. So if we in the 21st century don't know what that is, but yet still we would rewrite the definition of all the dictionaries, what says us in relation to our ancestors? You think they were jumping for joy? Hip, hip, hooray. You think so? Nah. They're just staring at you like, what is wrong with them? Some of them couldn't even speak. Remember, some couldn't even comprehend. Gotta understand what happened to us. And then we appreciate really and truly where we are, and then we'll be doing something different. It's our time. What has happened to George as he's been murdered is open up the eyes, the souls of human beings on this earth. Besides supporting us and liking us in football, basketball, and boxing, the world has seen us and felt us as human beings like themselves, or like everyone else. That's what has happened. They're like our athleticism. They're like our bird songs. You know, we sing the birds out of existence. They're like our dance. They're like our amusement. They're like our fun, amusement, and play. But one time in my lifetime, and my mother has missed it, they have seen us. They have seen and witnessed the cross that we bear and the suffering that we go through. They have witnessed. Could you imagine that we all here have lived in the era of apartheid, and we demonstrate and we boycott produce that help them people to understand that them have a fight. But whilst we were doing that, many lives were taken. Apartheid. And we've been here with Martin Luther King, Kwame Ture, and Menek al-Shabazz, and Elijah Muhammad. Many more. We were here. We were here. We have been here. We still are. Because some people will try to tell us, it's been so long ago. Get over it. Get over what? So, freedom. We yearn for freedom. We want to taste it. That's what we want. We want to taste freedom. So I can pray to God and said, this is what my great-great-grandfather and my great-great-grandmother did not get because some criminal human beings took them. But you know about it, didn't you? You know about it. But I'm just showing you, telling you that it hurt me up to now. And on my way home, coming to you. And I'm still hurt. So that life that you've lent me, it was just misery. Not brought on by myself, but by some other disgusting humans. So, what about an extension? You see it there? Because those people have tormented us. And we haven't had the privilege to enjoy the life that you lend to us. So what are you saying, Almighty Allah? Astaghfirullah. Extend us. That's a rational man, a woman. So I'm painting it like this to show you what criminals these people have been. And because we do not get justice, they repeat it again and again and again to people of color, particularly us. the system that they have deployed. We are the children of those who did not comprehend that word. We know it now. We are most eloquently equipped, institutionalized, equipped. We have the intelligence and the understanding of their laws. And at about time the table got turned, away I say, we can do that. We can do just that. We have the potentials. I don't think we've got the braves though. We have the potentials. I wonder how many of you have seen the International Criminal Court. You can't go there if you just want to be somebody. You have to have the credentials. Everywhere you have to have credentials. And everywhere we have them, we are there. Not representing us though, but we are there. We're there. We are there. Upset one of them, you see how quick them use that law that they represent against us and whoever. But when they're in the man's world, they just work with them because we're so tolerant. We don't see ourselves. We see our oppressors. Why we fall in love with them so? Because of theological education. All of us were educated by the man. And that theological education, you got to understand, that is all about them as being God. If we park that thing up, you see how quick we get mental freedom. Because the symbolic messages is that them is God, and them have access to God, and the angels of God, all kind of thing is God for them. And we're giving them praises, worthy praises, unjustly too. How the hell we become like that? Theological education. All of us have received it. Not one of us haven't received it. So, we have to assess and evaluate ourselves a little bit more, because that education is the problem. Not know, but how we relate to that education is the problem. It's the biggest problem. And anyone who thinks different, assess it. Simple. Assess it. It hurt. That's all I'm going to say. It will hurt. It hurt so bad. You know, it hurt. So, we'll go here because I play enough things. Hey, Richie, I'm looking for your tuning now. I can't find it, man. It's something that I'm supposed to do every time I come on and play your tune. Because I want your tune for go number one. Once your tune go number one in a star, you know what I mean? You will do big things. See? But I can't find it. Yeah, it there. Richie Davis, see it there? So, people, this is my regular, you know. I'm going to tell you the guidance and I play 3 tune. So, try to focus on freedom. What does freedom mean to us right now in this dimension? And how will we secure freedom for all of us? And develop trust? And don't use my strategy and say you go check some woman and everything, because you're disingenuine. I don't like wetty and all them nonsense. We also need to have a revolution against those people who undervalue and disrespect the wounds that bore them. Our women, our girl children. Yeah. We have some dirty man out there that feels to them a big man, bad man, and all kind of different man. A idiot people them. Disrespecting the wound that bore them. And put bright lights and camera on them. We don't like that. We have to clean that up quick, sharp, like right now. Yes. You see me? If I could get into Africa right now, I have 270 wives. Trust me. Take a joke. Man called Richie Crucial Davis. Thing called what? Central Line. Yeah, man. Mind the gap, you know, Mafia and Floxy up there. Listen.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yo, Yardman, this is the baddest rhythm you're gonna get, you know. And it coming from London. See, you understand me? The baddest rhythm you're gonna have all year. Don't try to copy it, man. Don't try to hook, line, and, you understand, cut and paste and all them sugar, you know. We'll take it to court. See me? So, Mafia and Floxy, mind the gap, mind your head, mind your step. Central Line. Principal, you understand me? Rachel Crucial Davis. Yo, Yard Massive, listen, you know. And the number one rhythm this year in all the commotions. Listen, 5 parts.
Here I am, believing to my brothers and my sisters for a better life. There's no cause for us to live together every day. Oh, do you better say sorry, be Magadan, sorry.
All the man them up a Broadwater farm, you know, sir, for your youth, for your man that in it. Yeah, man. Respect all you. Move it.
It's gonna turn one day.
One day soon.
Burn one day.
Mr. Glenn Washington. Yeah, we are see a whole heap of people that come out. Eh? A whole heap of people that never used to play things on the net, them are come out. Principle, yeah, affect people, them, you know. Them don't want to say nothing, but yeah, I hurt them feeling, you know. Yeah, them say, why we have to do a thing before that man get too far. They don't know, say, we are wait for the box, them. Sure. We don't even bother about no, because you see, we have bigger fish, man. We have Inspector Willie. Yeah, you know what I mean? We have big things, man. Yeah. Hey, Trooper. One day soon.
It's gonna turn one day.
I tell you.
Goodness will burn one day.
One day soon.
One day.
We walk upon the continent like kings and queens, see? Yeah, and we can't do that anytime soon, you know. So we don't have to wait one day. We can do that anytime soon. See it there? So soon as the pandemic open, those of us who have that which it takes, make the move. Because once you make the move, you open up something for the next person and the next person. Come on. Don't say you're waiting for Britain and America, anybody. You understand? Some of us have got more than £1 to rub together. You understand? So once I make the move, the next one will make the move. And once I make the move and do good, you understand? We're not go there for make shubbing. We're not go there for make safari, nasty dance. We're not go there for make dance on the beach and all that bullshit. We are go there for exercise life and to reconnect with my family. You understand? And at my age, learn to live as long as God Almighty give me. You understand? Learn to live and feel free. Then I can tell the ministries and others that we have a lot of other people who don't have the means, but them heart is willing. See? But them pocket weak. Yeah. Not them flesh weak, them pocket weak. You understand? So they will need assistance. So those of us who did welfare work, social work, and all these type of work, we will work with the people them for help all of our people them that don't have the means and make the right thing. I saw revolution work. All the other thing now work. Listen.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, listen, look.
Are these your documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you fill these out yourself?
Yeah, I wrote them.
This is immigration. See? Ha-ha.
Afternoon, sir.
Yeah, listen, look.
Are these your documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you fill these out yourself?
Yeah, I wrote them.
So you wrote this?
Yes.
You're saying you wrote this?
No, sir, man.
Uh-huh. Tell me, what's your religion?
What?
Why you gotta wear your hair all them tied up?
What a tired?
Why you gotta look like this? You ain't got nothing to say, huh? So you wrote this?
Yes.
That's how these documents.
Who you want to be?
See, immigration, we won't have them type of problem there when we are work with what? The cultural attaché here, the ambassadors and everything. We do everything up front, proper and everything. You know what I mean? And some people must understand, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 can bring you a big something in a land. You see it there? I'm telling you, ownership, serious thing. You understand? There you go. So, if we were just jumping around, playing around, and not look after ourselves and so forth, then we're missing. We are missing, seriously. Yes? So we start again 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65, 70, even, hey, all of them money can get a good accommodation. So you go up to £100,000. See? You did it on some serious dwelling. You understand? So those of you who watch Nollywood and all them something there, you see some luxurious place, habitats, homes in a them movie there in Ghana and Nigeria. You understand? And them where £80,000 can get. You see what I mean? So you have some people that them eye is not big, but them eye have some serious intention, right? So they want them luxurious thing. You understand? So each one to them desire. But Safari, Shabin and Daggering and all them things, no. Seriously. You spoil the thing for all of us. See? So don't bother with them Monday that have them kind of mind and tell you, see, if them do tree dance like that, them have such and such and you join group with them. Nah, nastiness, filth. Before you know it, the people them will dash way out. The things in the media, they will dash way back out. And then where we finish up? Where we finish up? On the shows, doing what? Trying to get back into Europe. Are you mad?
Why did you make me black, Lord? Lord, why did you make me black? Why did you make someone the world would hold back? Black is the color of dirty clothes, of grimy hands and feet. Black is the color of darkness, of tired, beaten streets. Why did you give me thick lips, a broad nose and kinky hair? Why did you create someone who receives the hatred stare? Black is the color of the bruised eye when someone gets hurt. Black is the color of darkness. Black is the color of dirt. Why is my bone structure so thick? My hips and cheeks so high? Why are my eyes brown and not the color of the sky? Why do people think I'm useless? How come I feel so used? Why do people see my skin and think I should be abused? Lord, I just don't understand. What is it about my skin? Why is it some people want to hate me and not know the person within? Black is what people label when others want to keep them away. Black is the color of shadows cast. Black is the end of the day. Lord, you know my own people mistreat me, and you know that just ain't right. They don't like my hair. They don't like my skin. As they say, I'm too dark or too light. Lord, don't you think it's time to make a change? Why don't you redo creation and make everyone the same? God's reply, why did I make you black? Why did I make you black? I made you in the color of coal from which beautiful diamonds are formed. I made you in the color of oil, the black gold which keeps people warm. Your color is same as the rich dark soil that grows the food you need. Your color is the same as the black stallion and panther. Oh, a majestic creature indeed. All colors of the heavenly rainbow can be found throughout every nation. When all these colors are blended, you become my greatest creation. Your hair is the texture of lamb's wool. Such a beautiful creature is he. I am the shepherd who watches them. I will always watch over thee. You are the color of the midnight sky. I put star glitter in your eyes. There's a beautiful smile hidden behind your pain. That's why your cheeks are so high. You are the color of dark clouds from the hurricanes I create in September. I made your lips so full and thick, so when you kiss, they will remember. Your stature is strong, your bone structure thick to withstand the burden of time. The reflection you see in the mirror, the image that looks back, that is mine. So get off your knees, look in the mirror, and tell me what you see. I didn't make you in the image of darkness. I made you in the image of me.
Dark brown shade of my skin, only had color to my tears. That splash against my olive bones, that rocks my soul. Looking back over my past dreams that I once knew, wondering why my dreams never came true. Somebody tell me, what can I do? Something is holding me back. Is it because I'm black? In this world of no pity, I was raised in the ghetto of the city.
Guidance. Yes, people. Guidance, we gone. Yeah, God willing, we're there Thursday. God willing. Assalamu alaikum, guidance. Be good. Yo, keep the black finance. Keep that phone. Keep that. What you call it? Keep the black economics in your pocket. You see? Yeah, we have to be very smart, very bright. You understand? Look after ourselves, right? We go a shop. Could be a Muslim shop. You understand? And the people them disrespectful. Don't bother give them your money. That means say we can start use our parental skills. You understand? And cook that which we eat. You understand? Naturally, but we have to cut and contrive. You understand? Because on the point you buy something from somebody, you give a good money to somebody that disrespect we. You understand? Show disrespect. It's even worse, you go proper Paul, Tesco and everybody else as well. You see? So, we have to do that. And then the import products, then we have to find out, again, from our ambassadors, is those products Caribbean products? Because everybody has stamp up like Chinese and make label. Right? So they look kind of authentic, but they're not. So, everybody, I tell you, listen, everybody I get fat. Everybody, I control something. We're the ones that behind. We're the ones that are behind. We're the ones that need assistance. You see? So we have to make this whole situation here, God willing, work for us. So we have to come together, meet, like we are going to church or mass, meet, and don't have 10,000 things on an agenda. You understand? Just 3, 4. You know what I mean? We greet each other and we tell each other how we like to be together and then get down to the thing. Building trust. Yeah. And respecting women. Yeah. Trust and women. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's just me though.